Okay, before I jump to Shelley, who's going to share a story from one of her clients, I just wanted to share something because it's about me and I'm excited. So, a long time ago, I wrote this book. It's a pretty big book. It is how many pages? Like 325 pages. And I wrote this in a month. That's like kind of cool. And
It took the rest of us 6 months to get it published, but the draft went to the publisher in 30 days.
so here's the cool thing. I haven't had that kind of brain capacity and creativity for probably maybe 10 years. And I'm watching what I'm doing now, the not only the brain capacity since I've added Zen, but the creativity, the ideas, the images, putting things together, being able to do it in short periods of time, shift gears from this to this to this to this, and not be wiped out at night at 72, almost 73. I just think that's a huge win, and I am so thankful. I have been praying over my brain for about 4 years because of all kinds of things. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. God's always got the next step. And if we don't give up, we'll be there when the next step shows up. So I was just kind of excited about that. So, okay, Shelley, would you share your story, please? I don't remember the person's name. If you want to use her first name or not, that's up to you, but it was a cool story.
Yeah, so her name is Jackie, and she got my permission to say her name.
That's right.
And I'm a massage therapist, so she's been a client of mine for probably 35 years. And when I first met her, I was a newbie. She had been in an auto accident, so this was 35 years ago, and it was her whole family, and she had a pretty significant closed head injury. And she used to work at Mac's store, I believe it was. She was a computer wizard. She was really great. And since the auto accident, she couldn't work anymore. So she's married. Her husband had worked for years, and they kind of fell on some hard times recently. She had started using the Freedom Patch, and the Victory Patch, and we had great results. And then she heard some stories I had said about my dad. So she tried the Focus Patch, and she needed to get a job, and she hasn't worked in over 30 years. So she got this job, and I saw her a few weeks ago, and she was really frustrated because she was having a hard time with the computer system. And so she had ordered the Zen patches and didn't even know she was using them. So Tuesday, she sends me a message that she needed help with her order with the super patch, and really just a question. And I have helped her a lot before in another company that we do. And typically, I usually call her. There's usually some confusion. I'll just leave it at that, just some confusion. So I automatically called her, and I could tell she was very different. She was like more alert than me. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And the question she asked me, I'm online trying to figure out what the answer to the question is. And then she's answering it because I'm not giving her she's like telling me the answer. And so we finally figure out she understands it better than I do. And I said, "What's going on here?" And she said, "I know, right? I am amazing," or something like that. She said, "It's that Zen and the Focus Patch together." She said, "I'm on fire." She said, "At work, I totally understand the computer system now. Everybody started cheering me on at work." And you can tell in her voice, she is totally different. I said, "Okay, well, the next time I have a question about the Super Patch site, I'm going to call her." Because it was amazing. And she said, yeah, she's got her mojo back.
So
And now
here's
she's
the
been with us
rule.
for 30 years.
Don't
Go ahead.
call me for help anymore unless you got your patch on. I'm just saying, do not call me without that patch on.
I know.
Okay, so as excited as I am about Zen for me, just remember everybody is different. I had someone today that just said, I have to do the Zen. I said, that's not what's helping you the most. We'll get to her story in just a little bit. And it came because of what I learned from Anne. So just let people play, notice, discover, and learn because everybody is different. So one of the people that I've been praying for a year, she's going through cancer, chemo, plus alternative, and the nausea for the last year from her treatments has been horrific. Immediately after putting on the Assure patch, no nausea. That's a big deal. People who are doing different kinds of medication or treatments and the nausea is bad, Assure is a pretty good deal.
And we have our first woman with child who just put it on yesterday. She's had really bad morning sickness.
Have
So
we heard?
haven't heard back yet, but they yesterday. Okay. She called me yesterday and said, we got the patches. What are we supposed to do with it? I said, put it on. Where? Your body, anywhere. Just slap it on and see what happens. So,
And that's one that you could do two of. And did you put the new patch overview into the notes?
yeah.
Okay. So Lene hasn't proofed it, so I could have some mistakes, but I redid the overview on the patches.
This one?
No,
Oh, okay.
then it probably didn't happen. So it'll be next week where I've redone all the review on the patches, a summary that's, after page from 3 on. So it'll show you the ones that might require 2 patches, different combinations. I cleaned up the notes. So I don't think it got put in tonight, but it'll be in there next week. So you'll have better information. Okay, the next one, this one came from Patch's testimony and information from somebody who's pretty knowledgeable with the patches, and I just thought it was really, really good. I use a wheelchair regularly, so obviously mobility is a problem. When I came back from the doctor in my wheelchair, the elevators were not working. Since I didn't want to wait hours in the lobby, I climbed 2 floors of stairs and slowly walked down the the hallway. My assistant was with me. I haven't climbed stairs in 3 years. That's like kind of cool. I use Victory, Boost, Liberty, Peace, and Defend. Way to go, Super Patch. Thank you, God. If this doesn't move you, nothing will. 3 years without going upstairs. VTT, the super patches don't promise miracles, but when the body responds, the results speak for themselves. I love the last line. Whether we totally understand everything that happens in putting a brain pathway into balance, when it happens, you cannot deny the results. And as someone who has worked with thousands of supplements over the last 35 plus years, I use supplements. Supplements can never put a brain pathway back into balance ever because that's not their purpose. Do they have a purpose? Yes. However, their purpose is reduced when brain pathways are dysfunctional. So what the super patches do are pretty cool. It's just a matter of discovery. The next one, this is Anne. So Anne, I think I wrote what you sent me. So if it needs to be corrected, please correct me. I decided to quit taking Kick It because it just seemed insufficient to help with impulse around food. It still helped the looping and REM helped with sleep. However, when I went to using 2 Kick It, this didn't come from Jay. This comes from how smart our team. You guys are really smart because you're learning how to play, notice, and discover. The impulse to go to sugar is gone. I've dropped 3 pounds. I'm using 1 Ignite and 2 Kick It patches. When I was using just 1 Kick It and 1 Ignite, I only felt hungrier. So this is how you play, notice, and discover. So I had someone in today that desperately wants to lose weight. It's the belly fat, it's the cortisol, it's impacting sleep, it's impacting body fat. It's impacting a whole bunch of things. And when we went through the process, because she'd lost weight, about 10 pounds on Ignite in the beginning, and then it just went like this, and then her weight's been like this. She can't sleep at night. And so this was testing with the body scan. And so I won't go through the whole thing. Defend was really key. Liberty was really key for her knees and inflammation. But when it came to addictions and insomnia and body fat, because I'd listened to what Anne discovered on her own, not from me, not from Jay, learning to listen to her body, we tried to kick it, and that took care of it for her. And as we talked about it, kick it is for addictions and cravings, looping, self-sabotage. And because I kind of knew her, I was testing different things. And what it came back to was trying to keep everybody in her life happy. That's like people pleasing. Any of you ever try to do that? Well, that's a big deal for her. So we talked about how she might consider addressing that because she's out of order. And so there's never any time for her. No matter how much she does, it's never enough for all of her family and everybody else that looks to her, because she's the glue that holds everybody together. So if you're one of those people and you're trying to be the source for all of them, you might be out of balance. That was me when I retired at 50, thinking I would never again, ever, ever, ever see clients because I was trying to be the source for 10 employees, our family, over 1,000 clients. And it took me a year to learn the lesson. God's the source, I'm a resource. I am not the source for everybody's health and every need that they have. Learning how to walk that out has been another 20-year plus process. And every night, even though I've prayed earlier, every night when I lay my head on the pillow, one of my last prayers for that night is, Lord, I release all burden bearing defilement. Every burden that I've taken on that's not mine to carry, I give it to you. And all the defilement that comes with taking on burdens, I give to you. So, whoever that might help, just might apply it. You might play with two kick it if you have loopy, loopy, loopy issues going on. And if you sabotage you trying to take care of other people, it could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs. I've seen it work in those areas too. Sometimes it's a different kind of addiction to feel good about who we are. Okay. Thank you, Anne, for sharing. You helped another person today. The next one, this comes from our daughter, and I'm so proud of her. She said, the Super Patch website is a win. Talking to a friend who is experimenting with the patches, I mentioned something about the doctors testing on Super Patch website, and she made this comment. Yes, I was seeing that on the website, and the credibility of the doctors actually encouraged me more in the patch credibility. She has had trouble with adhesives on large patches where it would leave a red spot that was just almost bleeding, very, very uncomfortable. She does not do well with the large patches. That's a different adhesive. But what she's doing with the smaller patches, I didn't bring it over, but the Primaskin that's on our website, it's a spray. She sprays wherever she's going to put the patch and lets it dry, puts on the small patch, and she's been able to wear Zen and some of the other small patches with no negative side effects. And of all the people I've worked with skin issues over the last however many years, hers was the worst. So this, the Primaskin is pretty easy to use. You just spray it. There's other things in your notes that you could
It's
try.
actually kind of the foundation of your skincare program. So it's not just for patches, it's for your whole face.
And it's for your whole body because what it is it's nanotechnology of glutathione, curcumin, hyaluronic acid,
Hyaluronic acid.
and I use it because it's helped my skin and I use a whole lot less skincare, but I especially like it, and I love spraying it here, eyes open, eyes closed, and I keep it next to the computer because that with Zen, it just helps my eyes so that they don't get too strained from being on a computer. So I just suggested she try it. It worked. She's excited because she really needs the patches, but she couldn't deal with what was happening to her skin. So if you've got somebody that's really sensitive, that's an option. Okay, the next one. I had someone the other day ask me about, are the patches safe with AFib? I've not had any clients to test, but I went on to there's Patch and Go. The Facebook group I like the most is Patches, Testimonies, and Information. That one I like a lot. because that one I know that Elaine and Lori are managing, checking out the post to be compliant. But this person, I think I forgot to write their name down. What said, I have AFib and I have been using the Zen patch and have more energy, not needing a nap, and I'm wanting to get more done, and I've had no issues. So I would say that since AFib, with my limited knowledge, has an impact on the heart. So even though the patches are putting brain pathways into balance, and the brain and nervous system are technically electrical, it's not working like an electrical device. So don't think of it as an electrical device. Just know that it's putting a brain pathway into balance. And Jay's very careful at saying this is not an electrical device. So if it's not electrical, it won't interfere with something that's working on regulation of heart. Does that make sense? Okay, I went through all this a little bit quickly, but one of the things that Mark said before we went live and before we started recording, for those of you who've been around for a while, Mark had issues with lumbar pain and freedom. It took 2 patches, took his pain from really high to basically zero. And after a few days, he was able to go from 2 patches to 1 patch, do his rehab during that. And so what's happened since then? Go ahead and share, Mark. What's happened since? Um,
And he's got the AFib thing going on too.
okay, so no issues with the patches with AFib, but Mark said he doesn't even use Freedom anymore. And
Nope.
go
Well,
ahead.
I've had 3 days with no, I won't say any more, but I've got 3 days not using the Freedom Patch at all. So, or pain
And
med, I mean nothing. So this is really cool. I'm liking this.
and you've been using Zen, and you're a musician. And what's happening with creativity?
My creativity is climbing. I'm finishing songs that I have been sitting for weeks.
Cool, cool. Here's something I want to say. This is not from the company. This is just Cheryl, who's worked with lots of people. When you help the body do something, especially when you're working with the brain, everything in me says that at some point, if we're also doing, the neurology, movement, we're putting together a healthy lifestyle, I think our patch needs could change. Doesn't that make sense? I just don't think that the body will always necessarily need certain things. Although for right now, I'm not trying to fix anything with my brain because I'm back like full speed ahead. But being able to stay at that level and at that maximum creativity that I want right now in my 70s, I'm willing to do that. I'm not trying to fix the problem. Does that kind of make sense that you're trying to relieve some symptoms, and there'll be a point where maybe you don't need that anymore, but something else allows you to go to a higher level of whatever it is you want to do? The good news is no negative side effects, no chemicals, no ingredients, just play, notice, and discover. So, does anybody get excited about this? I don't see like huge smiles. I don't see balloons. I don't see a ton of hearts. I get pretty excited because I know what it's done for me. So,
May I interrupt for just a moment?
yes, Glenda, I would love for you to share.
My husband has severe AFib. We're talking extreme, that has had him in the emergency room multiple times. I have the Liberty and the Rocket on him. I muscle test and they tested good. And now he'll tell me my heart is out of rhythm. And if I reset his vagus nerve with those 2 patches, it goes right back into rhythm within 10 minutes.
Pretty cool.
It's beyond amazing because
And what does he think about it?
he is finally thinking it's cool. He was the ultimate skeptic because he's seen me try many things. But
You know,
it's
when somebody has an experience, you can't take that away from them. You can't take away nobody can take away what I have learned about my brain for the last 4 years. I don't care who they are. I know what I've gone through. I know things that have helped. I know where I am now. I own that. Experiences help you own what's going on in your body. And the way you get there is play, notice, and discover because we're all different. Any other person have a quick story? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up early because Forrest has lots to share with you tonight.
Okay, we're clear for takeoff.
Nobody else has anything to
They're
share?
just waiting on me.
I know, because you're the star tonight.
Okay, we need to talk about your super patch business tonight. Now, for the last 3 months, we've really focused on the product benefits, helping people because that's our community. Cheryl's a doctor. We help people. But as you listen to the stories on here, if somebody doesn't share, somebody doesn't find out. Now imagine last August that instead of putting these patches on, I had thrown them away. Now I would just say my friend who sent them to me did a lousy job of follow-up. I said I wasn't interested, and he said, okay. Imagine where Cheryl's brain would be today had in August I thrown the patches away instead of putting them on and discovering that one of them helped me, then the pain patch and all of that. You see where this sharing process is happening? And so a lot of people, there's a lot of ways we can share. We can share a little bit, we can share a lot, we can help a few people, we can help a lot of people. But if we don't find the level of sharing that we're congruent with, Cheryl's a pretty talented person. For her brain to be operating at half mast, quarter mast, is not benefiting anybody in the world. Does that make sense? So at some point, there's going to be somebody in your life that you need to share with. Now, when you share, lots of ways to share. But the key is we start looking at our business. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But before we get into the business, I put in the notes tonight, and it's in the WhatsApp group, the study from the University of Arizona on athletic performance with the Victory Patch is published. Okay, that is a huge study. It's in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness. So while we're on that, all of the notes on that are in the WhatsApp group. There's a note in your email. As you are engaging with our community, we really, really, really need you guys to be adding your team to the WhatsApp group. When we started this, there were 20 people. I knew all of you. There were 30 people. I knew all of you. Now there's 40 people. Then there's 50 people. Then there's 100. Then there's 300. And I'm looking at the call tonight, and like I don't know Tina Smith, and I don't know some of the others of you on here with just your names on. So we have no way of reaching out, connecting, and building our community because for Cheryl and me, there's Super Patch, there's Lifestyle for Health, there's the community. This is more than just a patch. This is a community helping the world get to be a better place.
When there's over 500 people, we're doing our very best to connect, not to just push patches, but to get to know you, find out what's working, how can we support you. So being on these calls, being on WhatsApp, and if you have questions, if it's business, you go to Forrest. If it's, something with health and I can be of help, that's what I'm here for. I'm reducing my seeing clients one-on-one so that I can help you guys. So we're here to serve you so that as you learn, you can impact people that we'll never touch. So 500 and growing, it's about connecting, staying connected so there's not a lamb or a sheep out there that's not being taken care of.
Okay, makes sense. So lots of different ways we can play at this. All right, so that note is in your notes. A couple of things real quick. When I was going through the downline report, there's a bunch of people that have a SmartShip for 2 patches. Now I understand if the budget's really tight and all you can afford is 2. But what's kind of the rule of SmartShip? If you're doing anything with this business, you need patches. We have given away, sold, demoed a lot of patches. We've invested patches in people. Super Patch wants you to have patches to put on people without it being a burden. So when you have 3 packs on SmartShip as a member, not as a customer, you get the 4th pack free, right? So having 2 is okay, but if you're building the business, somehow you got to figure out how to throw that extra 47 bucks in there so you get the extra pack of free. That gives you a free pack to do something with every month. Okay, so that just, it doesn't make sense to me. I get the budget, but SmartShip is designed for packs. Now, I have myself on SmartShip for 4. I get 1 free. I don't get paid on mine. My daughter, on the other hand, I get paid on Anna. Okay. Anna can have 8 or 12 or 16 patches on SmartShip. This month, because we're kind of ahead on some, she's got 12. Now, if she has 12 patches on SmartShip, how many did I get through it free? Thank you, Shelley. Okay, so we got 3 packs free. It's $150 in free product because I ordered through my daughter's account, and so they will let you get up to 4 packs free every month, which means you could do 16. Now, if I run out of product, I can go back in. She's already done 12, so I can actually put 1 more SmartShip in for her this month if I need to for 4 and get 1 free. They'll cut me off after that, but I can put another order in for 4. So the total you'll get is 4 free ones over the course of the month. But by doing it all on one at the front end, it just saves on shipping a little bit, okay?
So if that doesn't make sense to you and you're like, well, I don't have Anna, or if it doesn't make sense and you're someone who wants to get some extra packs, those are questions you can ask for us so he can help you put that into terminology for your situation. But first start with getting you so that you have some patches to play with and you have patches to share. And Mark and Ann have been phenomenal because they started out very simple and there wasn't extra money. So I don't know if they started with 2 or 4, but as they've been making some money, they've been putting it into getting their 4 and they've been experimenting. And the results that they're both experiencing is because they're playing, noticing, and discovering. So,
Now, to that end, when you text or email or call us, it's kind of busy around here. So I just tell people the squeaky wheel gets oiled first. And sometimes it takes a day or 2 for us to get back to you. And if you don't hear from us in 3 or 4, something went wrong. So we just appreciate your patience as we
and
try to
it
stay
never
ahead of the
hurts to
curve.
send a second voicemail, text, or email.
Now, some of you text the Lifestyle for Health line. That's the 719 number. If you text a landline, we don't get it. So just remember my cell phone, the 303 number is what you want to use for texting. Okay. That's that. The WhatsApp group is great. And then I have an email list of about 5,000 people. Now, the challenge with the Lifestyle for Health email list is it goes to a lot of people for different things. And some people don't like hearing about this thing. They like hearing about that thing. There are people that like the Cheryl stuff, but the Super Pet stuff is too much. So we're trying to get that sorted out with tags and doing some technical stuff. But if you want your team to get emails from us, which we don't overdo it, but they're going to get like educational stuff from Cheryl every other week. They're going to get a notice of the Q&A call we do on Wednesdays. They'll get a notice of this call. I'm doing my best to get people tagged to Super Patch, but like Terry George called me today and said, how come I'm not getting emails? Well, she wasn't tagged to Super Patch for whatever reason, so she wasn't getting the calls. So here's what we've got to do for you as team builders. If you want us to be in touch with your people, which I think is a good deal, we don't hassle people. I mean, we're pretty clean about what we do. They need to go to lifestyleforhealth.com, and on the homepage, they can sign up for our newsletter. And I'm going to try to change the language on that, but here's what happens. They get an email from Cheryl, and they forget that it's Super Patch, and then they unsubscribe. And when you unsubscribe, we don't get to talk to you anymore unless we go through a special 2-step resubscribe process. So again, we've got the WhatsApp group, and then as you're building your team, say, this is our team leaders. We need you to be connected with them so you can be on the calls, be engaged. There will probably at some point be somebody that doesn't want to be connected with us because that just happens in this industry, but we work at bringing value beyond just Super Patch. But you getting your people connected with us in WhatsApp and on lifestyleforhealth.com is key.
I got confused with what you said.
God, put a patch on. Okay, your people need to just go to lifestyleforhealth.com and
But if
subscribe to
they
our newsletter.
then don't understand it's Super Patch and they unsubscribe,
That's the problem. They got to know that it's lifestyle. See, we're more than Super Patch. We're Lifestyle for Health. So you want to let your people know that Forrest and Cheryl and Lifestyle for Health is your Super Patch team as well. They're getting a bigger package. We're working on fixing that. But for now, just kind of be aware of it and let them know what the scoop is. We get them on that. If you've got people wanting to engage and we don't know them, it would be really good for you to text me and set up a call for either me or Cheryl to talk to them. Cheryl's got free time now, so you can always set up a 15-minute call with her. If Shelly's talking with Christina and then Christina's talking to Hope, they can just text Cheryl and say, hey, can we get connected with you guys? And Cheryl will schedule us 15-minute calls so we can get connected with your team and build these relationships downline. Does that make sense? You have to
Right.
you have to initiate that because we don't know who to do it with. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I just wanted you to breathe. Are you guys tracking with what we're saying? Is it making sense? Is this helpful? We are here to serve you, not pressure you. Do you know that there's a difference between the two? Service is based in the humility of how can I help you go make a difference in your world and the people you care about? That's what we're here for, not to pressure, not to push, just support. There's people I'm looking at on this, the call, especially the faces, and many of you I've been talking to and hearing your stories and when I pray for this group every single night, many of you specifically will come up. The Lord will bring you to mind because I've talked with you, I've met you, you were at convention. It's people we've known for 30 years, and the Lord just keeps bringing you to mind. And I'm praying for you to have health margin, financial margin, and for those of you who are wanting to share this 30, 60, 100-fold return, because what you're doing matters. It goes beyond just what Forrest and Cheryl can do. It's that multiplication, which is what God's always interested in, is being able to impact more people. So we're here to serve. We're here to help you.
To that end, these calls help us because we get to see you and get to know you. In the past, when we did network marketing, you had hotel meetings. Everybody drove across town to the hotel and we had time. We don't do that anymore. We're all online. So to that end, periodically putting your face on is helpful. And also, I know it's a little bit tricky, but figuring out how to put your last name on so that when I see somebody,
Or first name.
it just says Joe's iPhone. We don't know who you are. So it helps us to know who's engaging and who we can support and where we need to be focused on the business building. Okay. In the notes that went out today, I want to move the shift. Are we okay with that? Everybody good? You're not confused anymore, right?
Mm-mm.
You know how good it is? Cheryl's able to wear her hearing aids when we do this stuff and they don't bother her. We used to do these calls without her hearing aids in because of the brain problem. Now, hearing aids aren't great, but when you're in your 70s, and you can wear hearing aids without them being a nuisance. It does a lot to help the marriage and all sorts of things when we can actually hear each other talking. So these patches are amazing. All right, in the notes, I put a piece called congruency. I want to talk to you for just a minute about congruency. Now, some of you are here just because you want to learn about the patches. Some of you like to help a few people. Some of you'd be happy making an extra 50 bucks. Some of you'd like to get your product for free. Some of you'd like to make $10,000. Some of you need to make $10,000. Some of you'd like to have a global reach and a global impact. As we look at those goals, that goes into the category of this thing called congruency. Does everybody know what congruency means? Okay, now our congruency tends to be with what we're comfortable with, what we're familiar with. So as I spend time on congruency, I put a link in here for the number 2 video, the second video Jay did in his abundance series. Don't think of him as your spiritual guide. Think of him as your frequency and physics guide. He understands the frequency, how the brain works. The second video in there, I put the link in for, is Jay talking about getting congruent with what matters to you.
Jay understands quantum physics.
Yes.
So he's coming you from physics, and the videos we have in there from Jamie come from a spiritual. But if you really have some pretty good discernment, you realize this is about identity. So identity is very foundational, knowing who you are. And then what Jay's talking about is the physics of different things. And what I appreciate is there are some things that I've said before in our marriage and in our family that didn't always set so well with Forrest, and he's able to hear it in a different way from Jay and it's making sense. And you know what? It doesn't matter who says it. If God can use someone's voice in a way that somebody else can hear it, that's the win.
So I've been stuck on this video on congruency because when I look at the compensation plan, okay, this little sheet right here, everybody's familiar with this sheet. I got to change this back to the other screen. Okay. Now, I don't advise that y'all jump on this and try to figure this out. It's actually kind of complicated. If you're planning on making $5,000 or $6,000 a day, you need
A
to
day or
figure
a month.
a day.
Oh, a
Then
day.
this becomes important. But the top position is called global president, and that person they do $6.5 million a month in business. Now, last month I was very excited. We did $86,000 in volume, which is really good for like our 5th month in. That's like phenomenal. My network marketing career has been congruent with my success has always been around that $100,000 a month mark. So for Forrest, a $100,000 business making 10 plus thousand, around 10,000 a month, that I can relate to. There's a congruency on that. Does that make sense? Okay, we're congruent with different things. But I keep sitting here going, global president, global president, global president. And this morning, I'm looking at it going, that's a really nice idea. But when it comes to being congruent with that, guess what? I have no experience understanding what that is. So if I focus on 6.5 million, 6.5 million, 6.5 million, the insight part of me, the congruency part, is going to be going what? It's just going to go, not safe. You're not going there. It's just not going to happen. Now, do I have a desire to get there? Yes. So I started using, Cheryl and I do something called, what do we call it? Congruency testing. We won't get into that today. But I started looking at the comp plan going, okay, what on the comp plan am I really congruent with? What can I really be focused on and what matters the most right now? The next promotion for us is vice president. That's $100,000 a month in sales. So I can relate to that and I can understand it. And I'm very congruent. When I test myself, the congruency score is very high on that. I'm also congruent with, in order to be vice president, we need 3 people who are managing directors. So I can look at this call and I can see a couple people that I know are pretty congruent right now with getting to that $33,000 a month piece. And a couple people that would like to go there, but need to know how to go there. So I'm very congruent that I can coach somebody on doing $33,000 a month in sales. Does that make sense? In other words, that's a skill set that I can look at and go, I could actually do that without having to pull teeth out. And to become a managing director, those 3 managing directors, we need 9 people who are directors, 11,000. So again, in my brain, we blew through 11,000 in the second week in the business. So do we know how to do that? Yes. So I'm congruent with those first couple baby steps. Now, how do we get to global president? Well, first thing we do is we stay very congruent and focused on VP and our 3 managing directors. Once we've done that, then I can look at the next promotion and go regional vice president. We need to take the 3 VPs, our managing directors, and move them to here, because if Cheryl and I have done that, then we can do what? We can coach you on going there. Does that make sense?
For some of you, this is going to maybe trigger some buttons because I have never been a network marketing fan. And all the years that Forrest has done it, provided an income, which I've appreciated. I've never been really a network marketing fan. It's still not what motivates me. What motivates me is changing lives and helping them to put health margin in, but I realize that sometimes their health margin is being impacted by where their finances are. Does that make sense? And they want to do more, but they don't necessarily have the vision or believe that they're worthy of it, that it's safe, that they know how. And so that limits them. What I've learned is that when I'm congruent with what God's called me to do, I always make money. It's been that way all my life. So money never holds me back. That used to be something that held Forrest back, and I'm watching him by that he's been going through all of Jamie's teaching over and over and over, and he's going through Jay's, and he
over and over and over.
over and over and over because he wants to break out of a comfort zone that focuses on just Forrest. See, when you get to the point where it's no longer just about you. It's all the things that God would like to do through you. This is my heart. I don't know if you can feel it, but this is really my heart, that when you become about more than just you, and you can help people with their health and their finances and their purpose, and they can go do that with someone else, that's transformational. And that's pretty exciting. So if this triggers you, what you might consider doing is, well, God, what would you like to show me about how I hold back the potential you've put inside me? What would you like to show me? Or maybe you want a call with Forrest or a call with me, because every one of you have a purpose, you have an identity, and you have potential. You don't have to use any of them, but I can tell you, at least for me, knowing my identity right now in this season is healing words. After praying for a year, I know that's true. I know that we can help people with health and financial margin. And I know I'm getting to use my unique skills. I have never felt more alive and useful and productive in my entire career, whether it's in writing books, doing television, seeing blah, 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 blah. This is like what I was made for, and I get excited. And when you're living that, that's just exciting. So everything Forrest is saying is because he desires to get to the next level. So he has more potential to help each one of you, and I'm just proud of him.
So the whole piece of congruency is sitting down saying, what do you want out of this month, this year, next year? We can pick the big picture, but we've also got to take time with each one of you. If you want to do this at whatever level, we start by getting congruent at that level and we multiply off of that. We can all start right where we're at and we can build slowly and steadily. There are people, Rick just brought in a guy that's going to, his last company had 40,000 people in his downline. Do you think his business is going to grow faster than mine? Is it going to look different than ours? Is it going to feel, everything about it's going to be different. Now I can sit there and go, oh, I need to have 40,000 people in the downline. But what Cheryl and I do is we look at your pictures on here and go, what are we doing with each one of you to put this in place? Because different perspective, different context, and he will be training and developing his team differently than we do because it's a different world and it's a different group of folks. Okay, so as you're looking at this, it's like coming to saying, what do we want? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do with it? And I think the first piece, so my daughter is a great example. Anna's had a lot of what she'd call negative experiences because of network marketing. Hope knows about it because she helped coach her through some of this stuff. She had a really bad experience in one company. She finally realized that there's people at her church who she can help with the patches because she finally had the patches helping her. The patches actually made a difference with her at her last appointment. So she made a little purse up with the patches and she said, I just don't know how to do the business. I said, you say, Terry, my mom has something that might help you with you getting sick all the time. It's called a super patch. Would you like to try one?
And show him the sheet.
And then she pulls out the sheet. Okay, so this sheet, Lene redid today. Lene and I spent a bunch of time redoing this sheet. This is in your notes. I put it in as a Word document so that you can come in at the bottom and put your name and all of that in it. We've finally got it's got super patch associated at the top. I had to redo the colors because the colors weren't printing well. The yellows weren't printing very well. This is in the notes that I sent out at 30 minutes before the call. And on ours, I put a little QR code that takes people to Cheryl's video. I just got my patches. Now what? If you need help with QR codes and all of that, it will cost you a little bit. You can either learn how to do it yourself or you can text Lene at Lifestyle for Health, pay her a little bit and she'll make these up with your name and all that. But this goes on this is my nice sheet, but Anna carries this around with her now. So when she was talking with the lady at church, she said, my mom has these patches that are making a big difference. Would you like to try some? And she doesn't sell super patch network marketing. She's just selling them patches that she bought from me. Does that make sense? She's just got patches. So where she's at, she's now made a baby step that she's congruent with, that she's helping her friends with, without having, a compensation plan conversation. Cheryl?
So, because of what she's doing, the person who had all the skin issues is having a positive experience. And a couple that she wanted to help. She showed them that, and they said, "Well, would your mom talk to us?" And so I'm talking with them tomorrow. And so another person she thought, Anna thought would need maybe just one thing. When that person looked at that, she said, "Well, I need that and that and that." And she ended up trying 3 or 4 patches. So you just get to play and offer and let people choose. They just get to choose, look at symptoms and what would they like to see change. So it's probably the easiest thing in the world you can do. And most of them will have a positive experience. And if not, then we get to together, you, me, them, we'll go see what we can discover.
Okay, so we're just going to little screen share. So it's right here. Lene did a great job of cleaning up some of the language. All of the bullet points on here are the ones that were approved by corporate on the sheet that they approved. I just didn't like their sheet because the colors weren't working. So that is there for you. And then right down here, we made enough room. You can put your name, your phone number, and your website, doretta.superpatch.com or however you guys want to,
Or QR code.
your QR code, whatever you want to do with that. Okay, let's see if we can get to the next screen share. Okay, so far so good? Making sense? We're taking baby steps. This is baby steps for all of you. And everybody's gonna have a different baby step spot. Okay, this is in your notes. Lene and I have been redoing it. I sent it to you as a PDF file so that you can work with it. But I want to we're going to go through the first couple of slides tonight because I want to get to the basics. Most of you need to be at the beginning. And even if you're not at the beginning, when you sponsor somebody, they're at the beginning. So we always have to start at the beginning because very few people, are going to show up with a list of 40,000 people ready to just say, write me a check for $1,500, right? But you're going to have a whole bunch of people like my daughter who say, this patch changed my life, or my wife, this patch changed her brain. And I will tell you guys, I've got Cheryl's story posted. I am getting really good at telling the story of her brain because everybody knows her brain. And that is just a great story to share with people. And that little patch can go with you everywhere. So we call this the building block plan because we don't build with circles and triangles. We build with Lego building blocks because Lego building blocks stick together. We build with Legos, and we don't use the word Lego in our text because I don't want Legos to sue me for that. But we use Legos because they're fun. We use the patches because they change lives instantly. You put the patch on, your life gets better that minute. It's easy. And for Cheryl and me, core value is community. All right. If we sponsor 4,000 people and 100 stick, that means we've lost 3,900 people. Now, some people call that good. You got 100 out of the deal. We do not want to lose them. Your foundation, everybody in the business, no matter where you're at, has to know the foundation. So first off, know your favorite four. Why favorite four?
SmartShip.
SmartShip. It's the cheapest way to buy product. All right, so patch and move, patch and smile, patch and sleep, patch and focus, patch and oh my gosh, my brain works, patch and nausea. What's your combo? So know what your story is, know what your patch story is, know what your family combo is, know what your first aid kit is. That little Assure patch should be in everybody's first aid kit. I made the mistake the other day of buying a cookie at Whole Foods.
You didn't tell me about the cookie.
It's a story. Shh, I'm making it up as I go. Okay, so at Whole Foods, they have these big cookies. You'd think if they had one at every checkout stand that they would be good. You would just think that Whole Foods would make a cookie that tasted good. Well, the cookie sucked, but I ate it all anyway because I was emotionally depressed. I wasn't congruent with my body weight. That night, 3 hours later, the cookie starts coming up while I'm laying in bed. I'm literally burping up a cookie from a healthy store. Like, okay, that's off the list. Finally, I drag myself out of bed, slap on the Assure patch, and 5 minutes later, guess what? The cookie is okay. I have not forgotten it, but I've solved the problem of burping up the cookie in 5 minutes. So that's a first aid kit product. The Freedom Patch is a first aid product. Y'all should have your first aid kit with your patches, okay? All right. And Lene updated this for us. So the foundation is you need to have this product sheet with you to take places. Actually, she'll update this one. This just is the little demo, the one we sent you. But remember our motto? I have a patch for that. You have the Cheryl product training videos. Now we have the new Super Patch app, which I was very excited about. And right now I'm kind of neutral on the app. I went through it and it's okay, but it's not doing what I wanted it to do. So today we were talking with our AI coach and she said, Forrest, how are you liking the app? Because we went through and watched a bunch of the patch training. And she said, to be really honest with you, Cheryl's patch videos are way better than the company patch videos. She connects with people. She's authentic. She's real. She said, I don't think you ought to use the patch videos on the app when you can use Cheryl's videos. You guys have a secret asset with Cheryl, and her videos are great. And they're all right here at lifestyleforhealth.com/super patch training. It's right at the top of the page. All of Jay's videos are there. All of Jamie Winship's videos that we like are there. This is, I've realized we just as a team have to be really congruent with our training hub and getting videos to you guys and y'all learning how to use it, learning how to put those QR codes on your patches, knowing where the training is. And as Cheryl said, every morning I spend time on something that's moving my brain toward becoming congruent with this. Okay? In other words, I do know that we're going to eventually get to global, but we have to get congruent with down here. So every day I've got to work on that congruency piece, which is a challenge because I have to catch up with my wife because she gets congruent way faster than I do. But if you're not putting something into your brain, okay, it's really nice to pay attention to what's happening in Iran. But I hate to tell you guys this, nothing you can do other than prayer is going to change that. I talked to a friend the other day. I said, it's crazy what's going on in the world. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, like we blew up Iran. He said, really? He said, I don't watch the news because I can't put it in my brain. So you can watch that, but you should be spending an equal amount of time learning how to get better at doing what you want to become more congruent at creating your life. Does that make sense? Thank you for nodding positively, Christina. Okay, we're getting to the important part. Here's the big difference with Super Patch over every other network marketing company I've ever been a part of. Super Patch is called show and tell versus science class. Every product on our shelf that we sell, Cheryl was the queen of parasite cleanses. You know the trouble with parasite cleanses? It's a science class. And I'm sorry, unless you're like a doctor, nobody's going to listen to you about parasite cleanses. Well, they might. But everybody will listen. When I taught school, the kid that brought the rabbit to school, didn't matter who the kid was, everybody wanted to touch the rabbit. The kid who brought his science fair project to school, nobody understood, nobody wanted to touch. Super Patch is breakthrough technology because it's show and tell. Your job as you're talking to people is to listen for the problem. Is it pain? Is it sleep? Is it balance? Offer an easy, demonstrable solution. That's what my daughter's doing. Know how to do the balance test. 2 videos of that on the website I just showed you. Now, if you don't know how to do the balance test, you grab a couple of people at home, you get some patches out, you watch the video, and you learn how to do the balance test. Why? Because the patch is weird. Okay, I'm going to put a patch on you and your brain's going to work. All right, really? Yeah, that's weird. You put a patch on somebody and their balance improves, their gait improves. You go, okay, now we know the patch works. Okay, what's that? That little demo is show and tell. Is there a science lesson behind it? Yes. But does the science lesson matter if the person walks better? No. You with me so far? I can only see 6 of you. Nod your heads if I'm looking at you. Okay. Once you do the balance test and do show and tell, you need to have samples. Now, what I'm recommending, the new packs all have 30 patches in it. So if you take and put 6, wait a second.
5.
If you put 5 in a little plastic bag, we have little 3x3 baggies. If you put 5 in a bag, you can sell them for $10. It used to be called a nickel bag back when we were hustling marijuana. Remember that? Now it's just called a dime bag. It was. That's how we paid for college, remember?
No, I didn't do that.
Somebody on this call did. I'm not sure who, but it wasn't me. Okay. If you put 5 in a baggie, 5 goes into 36 times. That means you can get 6 sample packs out of 1 sleeve. Watch this. 6 packs times $10 a piece is $60. With tax and shipping, you paid about $40 a pack. Guess what you just made?
A profit.
A 50% profit. Now, is it a lot? No, but you're more profitable than a lemonade stand you had when you were a kid. That's how you get them started with samples. They can also go to u.superpatch and they can order. Now that u.superpatch page has been updated a wee bit. There's no more 25% off discount. There's no more save coupon. When they go in and put their order in, it'll just show $99 and give them two price point choices. 69 for one time, 65 for auto ship. When they check out, it all happens in Shopify. Just a sec. So it all happens. So the checkout process is very easy in Shopify. When they log back in, it's all in Shopify. It's very easy. From there, I'm going to pick up speed just a sec, Cheryl. They can be converted to a member and they can be doing the SmartShip purchase. But here's the foundation. You on SmartShip, I have a patch for that. Sharing some patches with friends and family. Go ahead, Cheryl.
So that u.superpatch, is that their name?
Yeah. So for
They're not going to go to u.superpatch. Just want to make sure nobody takes you literally.
that would be stupid.
No, it'd be a misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding. Okay.
Forrest, where are you finding this in the back end?
Finding what?
What you're showing us right now?
Are you watching the screen?
Yeah.
It's a PowerPoint that I made.
So
Oh, I'm
can they
sorry.
get a copy
Okay,
of
I thought
that?
you were somehow on a website. Okay.
I'm showing you now the PowerPoint slides that you're looking at right now. Lene and I made, and they're in your notes today.
Thank you.
They're
Okay.
actually in your notes. They're in the email.
They're in the email. Yes, they're in the email. No, I went back and put them in the notes too. I put them in the second set of notes that went out.
Okay. Well, the overview sheet is not in the notes. I looked for that. It's in the email.
That could be.
We're doing our best.
I've had my
Check
patch.
both places.
We're getting there.
I
Coach
get
is
it,
doing
and I appreciate y'all.
Coach is doing his best to keep up with you. Because
Yes.
what happened today is it was a rush day because there was the dentist and there was the tooth that fell out and all that stuff. And then
Cabinets.
then we had cabinets put in, and then we had clients, and then Lene was busy teaching kids, and I didn't get the notes from her in time. And so this right here, the link for this is in your notes someplace, and Lene will get it posted on the YouTube channel for you. And we'll update this in, oh, guess what? It'll go on the Lifestyle for Health website in the training page. I'll update it for you. So I'm just walking you through the basics tonight because we only got a few minutes. I want to get you started, okay? So it's like ChristinaJohnson.superpatch.com, ShellyPomeroy.superpatch.com, Forrest.superpatch.com. You can send people there to order, but here's the piece. I think, now, some people this is easy for, but if you're talking to your friend at church, is it easier to say I got a patch for that and collect $10 and give them some patches, or send them to a website to order and they wait 10 days to get it? The reason for having product in hand is because this project is a show and tell project. Unless you happen to know somebody that knows 40,000 people in their last network marketing business, then we do a whole different thing. We get them on the phone with Rick and Elaine and Jay, and they come in differently than what we're doing here. Okay, so far so good. Thanks for clarifying, everybody. Okay. I'm going to skip this one because, no, we'll just touch on this. Membership has, so when somebody becomes a member, membership, I use the word member instead of associate because member is an easier word for people than associate. Associate has connotations. So I always say membership has its benefits. And then I say, like Costco. If you're a member at Costco, you can save money on your coffins, you can save money on your tires, you can save money on your batteries. They do. Costco sells coffins if you didn't know that. You can, when you're in Florida, they have coffins at checkout. At Miami, they actually had coffins on display. You can save money on your cruise. You can save money on your organic blackberries. And you can just buy large bags of Cheerios. So I said, membership has its benefits. And to become a member, you got to do that $40 membership or buy a kit. We won't get into that tonight because we're running out of time. And the benefit to membership is a couple of things. One, you save money on buying product, just like Costco. Two, members become a part of our community. Our goal is consumers for life, education plus community plus value. We have 15 non-medical solutions for major health problems. And some of you will want to become a builder at a different level so you can build some part-time income to pay for your product, some long-term income, etc., etc. Okay? And when you become a member, we're going to stop here. We'll pick up with this next week. We want to talk about the flex kits. We want to talk about this is very important. I put this in. We want to talk about the fast track now because when somebody signs up, we now have 3 kits. We have the Flex 40, Flex 20, and the Flex 10. They can pick out whatever product numbers they want. All of these qualify you for the bonuses, for your business builder bonuses. So again, we're not going to get there tonight. We need to get there.
Can I just,
Yes.
so several people had people that wanted that and they brought in 3 Flex 40s. Did they make $1,500?
Okay. We have a bonus plan when people come in with the Flex 40 that can make you about $1,800 a month. Now, Lois Regan did this last month. She signed up. She brought 3 people in last month. They all came in with the Flex 40 last day of the month. She got her driver bonus, her hat trick bonus, her team leader bonus, her spiff bonus. She got her 15% commissions. And by the way, the $500 bonus, the variable bonus that they had last month is on this month. So with signing up 3 people, Lois made last month $1,800, we'll just call it $1,900 on a $1,400 kit that she bought. Now, what did she do with the $1,400 kit? She took the $1,400 kit and broke it into little packs and sold it to her friends and family and sold it to her clients
And made money on that.
and made money on that. Is this starting to make, we need to spend more time on this, but I want to show you this is all there for you guys to study and dig into. What Lene and I've tried to do is make it easy so you all can do it. But we'll talk more about how to use the new kits that are in your back office. We're going to talk about multiplication, teach
So
and
go
repeat.
back to the kits. So just in case it didn't dawn on you, Flex 10 means you're getting 10 packets of your choice. Flex 20 is 20 packets of your choice. Flex 40 is 40 packets of your choice. You get to pick what you want.
The Flex 40 is the cheapest. You save, it's the best value. But all 3 of those packs can qualify you, if you follow the rules, for the driver bonus, the hat trick bonus, the team leader bonus. The spiff bonus is different on each one. The 15% commission will be different because they're different amounts. And guess what? They're all going to qualify you for the promo bonus this month as well. So Jay really wants y'all to make money on the front end of this. Okay. We have to stop there because we're out of time. We need to spend all night on that at some point, really dig into it. Those of
Renee and
you,
Forrest, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for that.
thanks, Janine. Those of you that want to dig into that more, we schedule some calls and we get the training going because what needs to happen if Janine decides she's building a business, then she needs to actually understand that. I'm giving you the big picture here, sort of, tonight in 20 minutes. It's not as exciting as what Cheryl did, but it's essential if we're going to start to say, where are you congruent? Where are you building your business? And the congruency starts with what? The foundation. Knowing what your favorite 4 are. Being on your SmartShip. Sharing patches with a few friends. You know, when you have 3 friends who are members and they're each on SmartShip for 2 packs, the company sends you what? 2 free packs. Y'all need to watch your emails this week. Shelly, you need to watch your team. The email just went out today on the people qualified for the business builder bonus. So you get a business builder bonus so Shelly has signed up Christine, Terry, and Doretta, and they're all on SmartShip for 2 more. She will get an email that she gets 2 free packs of product, but she's got to click on the link in the email and go put those products in her order, and she pays $7 to have them shipped out. So if you don't know what the business builder bonus is, let me know. Like Melinda called me the first week and said, how do we figure this out, Forrest? She wanted to make sure she had her 3 and get her, her 2 free packs of product. So that's your basics, is making sure you're getting that free product from the get-go and making sure you're getting the best price on product and going from there. Cheryl, do you want to add to that?
I just want to say that if some of your brains are going tilt, 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 that's okay. You can call because somewhere in here something caught your attention and you went like this. That's not a tilt, tilt. That's I want that. And so that's where you're most congruent right now. So start there and let us help you in whatever that is. So if you're okay, I'll pray for everybody.
And remember, the front half of this call is always the product for folks. The second half of the call, we move into the business. That's why we break it up that way. So, we had a few people drop off because they're here for the product stories. Perfect. We love customers. customers for life, people putting patches on. That is how we foundationally change lives. But what we've noticed is customers get their brains back and then they tell their friend, I put this patch on, I got my brain back, and you never know what's going to happen from that. That's called show and tell, bring and brag. I got my brain back. At which point, then Terry calls me up and says, Forrest, four of my friends want these patches. What do I do? I think you showed me some building blocks. Explain that to me. How do I sign them up? How do we make money? And we go from there. Does that make sense, everybody?
It does. Forrest, will you please consider like a Saturday morning training?
That's a great idea.
It doesn't have to be every week, but I'm telling you, if you could just give us an hour that we
Yeah,
can
we're
do,
digging into
you and
this.
I, soon, this month, if you can,
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
and just wing it for us because you know more than we do. I listened to that call with that guy, Rick, and I tell you, I was just tilt and done. But you made it clear why I couldn't track with him because of his experience. So
Right.
we need you to help us with our elementary position.
Good point, Greta. Thank you for reminding me to do that because I keep trying to squeeze it in once a week on Thursdays, and um,
We need
hopefully,
this time. We
yeah,
need it.
some of you got to figure this out, and then you got to figure out how you're building with it, and then each of you eventually put your own spin to it, your own flavor to it, and you build your teams. And because here's the thing, you want to have a business that tomorrow, I just if tomorrow Cheryl and I drop dead from something, you still want to be able to run your business. I mean, if we disappear, you still want to be able to know what to do and how to run your business. You want to be learning and growing so that this becomes something you take forward. If Rick and Elaine disappear tomorrow, guess what? I still have a business. I'll lose some really good customer support, but I still have a business.
That's a good thought.
Heidi?
Yeah.
Hi there. So I'm actually looking to how to raise my hand. I can't find it, so I'm just raising my hand. So, Cheryl and Forrest, my story is so convincing, but I really freeze when it comes to the whole business side. So I agree. Is it Doretta?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what Doretta said. Like I really need to, I know that I need to go to um Lifestyle for Health and go through. But then even when I do that, I have so many questions and then I get anxiety and then I just kind of freeze and I stop. And,
And we've been doing this I've been in and out of network marketing for 40 years, so I know the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is what's actually easy for me to do. Cheryl does what's easy for her. And that's why the congruency piece. We have to start with baby steps so that, because Heidi has an amazing story. She should have a huge team. And if we just throw you into the pot, it'll get lost. So thank you for that, Heidi. Yes, we will do that. And we will start with baby steps. It's like my daughter. I'm really excited that Anna now has found a way to share patches at church. We don't know where this will land, but Heidi's here because of Mark and Ann. Mark and Ann are here because they probably didn't have anything else to do on a Thursday night 4 months ago.
5 months.
5 months ago, I was like, well, to get on this, then Cheryl said, maybe this will help. Mark slapped a patch on his back. No clue what was going on, I don't think. Next thing you know, he's walking and they're telling people and they're making a little check now. And Heidi's here and had her life changed. And to me, that's just as important as sponsoring 40,000 people. So,
and
yes.
my dentist, I had an appointment with her yesterday. She sees my weight gain. She sees my color being better. She wants patches. Her husband wants patches. My wound care nurse for a wound that has not healed for 15 years, she's seeing that it is working. I really just need, as confident as I am about that they work, I really need to be as confident about the business side because I want them to know buy three, get one. It's really the best way to go and become a member. That
And
type.
I would just say that I thought the training on the app was going to solve that problem, and it's just not quite there. We need to keep doing our training for our team. Is because if you all get trained well and you become great little trainers, we will have a business that multiplies. If Shelly gets really good at training, she'll train the next person, the next person, the next person. We will have duplication of this. When I taught school, I think what I did best is I taught kids to read. If I taught a kid to read, guess what they did when they became an adult? They taught their kids to read. If you teach your kids to read, they'll always teach their kids to read. So we have to have that multiplication. So Doretta and Heidi, yes, I'm on it. and we'll just put it out and we'll get it recorded and out there. Anything else from anybody?
I'm going to pray for you and
Just a
then
second, hold on.
we can talk after
Anything
the
else?
recording.
Okay.
We can
Yeah.
talk after because we're way past time and we try to honor your time in the evenings. So, Father God, I just thank you for creativity abounding in this group. Creativity and congruency on what you're laying on people's hearts. And Father, give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to recognize what our part is in helping train people to go do what you're laying on their heart. And Father, wherever people are feeling a lack of confidence, I just ask that you would encourage them, that you're going to show them how to do it. That you don't bring someone to a place of wanting to make a difference and then abandon them. You don't ever do that. So right now, by the power of the blood, the cross, and resurrection, I just speak confidence, creativity, and courage, the capacity to ask questions, the capacity to receive wisdom and discernment. And I thank you, Lord, for showing people open doors of people whose hearts and minds are open to create margin in their health, margin in their finances, making a difference in the lives of others. I thank you for open doors, open doors, open doors. Father, I ask for um, an even larger anointing than has already been operating on Forrest to know how to teach what he is so good at, that he will teach it from simplicity to the largest level in such a way that people go, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. I thank you for anointing on him to do that. Anointing, the timing, and that it can help people. Father, I thank you for what you're doing with this team, and I ask that your blessings of 30, 60, 100-fold return and growth and health margin flow from the top of each person's head to the tips of their fingers to the soles of their feet. And we just thank you for what you're doing. In Jesus' name, amen. And everybody said amen. We'll stop the recording and then you can ask or say anything that you want to say.
Because we've got a bunch of questions in the